Hello my beautiful music making people. In today's video we are going to have a look at this new Native Instruments play series instrument, Nacht. Either way it's Nacht, just for techno. So I've spent about 15 maybe 20 minutes having to play around with this guy so far, and yeah, this is just a little pad sound that we were building out. And it's nice, it's really easy to work with. I'll go over with you how it works and some cool things about it. Just so you guys know, I've put some drums in. We are at 172 BPM, so definitely not techno. I don't ever make techno. I don't think I've ever made something that warrants the name of techno in my life. So I'm going to be aiming this more at what else can we do with it outside of its desired niche space, right? So we've just got some drums in, just so I had something to work with and design around. Just made that nice little loop there. That works happy days. You know, this little like pad sound. Nice little sound, but there's something else. So usually when you go through presets of like a new instrument like this, the first one's a banger. It's the way to do it, right? You want the first impression to always be mwah. No different in this case. If we jump into here, we've got our factory presets. I've made a couple that we'll look at in a second. We go into bass, the very first thing. We've got this guy right here, and holy hell, this is just fun to play with. Here we go. Or so definitely not just a techno tool. How did I just open up that? That's not a good sign. Anyways, so let's have a look over how it works. Obviously, it is a contact library. So first things first, we have to open up Contact. You can see here, run it in Contact 7. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm going to roll with it though. Just loads up in here. You can load up any of the presets straight away, but we just load up the main instrument. So if we go back into our view right here, what you're presented with is the play kind of default they've done at this point, right? You got your A sound and your B sound on either side, your different sound options, effects and sequences, but they've improved those to some of the ones that I've reviewed in the past. So we'll dive into why those are better. If you saw the electric keys video, which for some reason YouTube has blacklisted, don't know what's going on with that, but if you managed to see that video, they've taken some of the elements that's going on with that, especially in the effects kind of realm, massively improving that compared to what the Play series has done in the past. Obviously across the top, it's a contact instrument. We've got our factory presets right here, and we can scan between them with the left and right arrows if you've never used a contact instrument before. At the bottom, we've got a whole set of macro controls as well as our balance. These are all adjustable, and you can see the points that they are currently all attached to, a nice little dot as well. If we hit shuffle here, it will shuffle up these and it will shuffle up our instrument sounds. So we can go from and just hit shuffle and basically design new sounds just on random, which is a nice touch for sure. And you can get some pretty good results. If you start on a preset and then shuffle it up, it's a really quick and easy way to make something new. With that said, if you want to tweak it manually though, you can go into sound like this, and you got like your layer B, and for example you can see like your layer B, the sample it is, its transpose, tuning, the effectively it's going into, so you got like that reduce, crush, noise, color, the filter chain, the LFO links as well in there, really nice. All of that's all linked up in there. Yeah, so here we can switch up to layer A, look. We can change that, so say we want to pitch layer A up. Like this. Yeah? We've got the options to do that. LFO up to 100%, we can change the LFO type. And it's sync. So we've got those shuffle options, but we can go in and really tune it in as we want it to be. And with that said, there's also a whole effects line. We take that off, we've actually just got this. Effects are doing a hell of a heavy lifting, right? And the reason for that, it's got a whole effects chain as well as a whole suite of effects in here, which is really useful. So something that's not so obvious, we've got EQ-A and EQ-B. That's the two samples going in. They basically go into the same chain and you've got an EQ to put them in. So say you want to take the low end out of sample one and just have its fuzzy tops or whatever, you can do that with the EQ. The little red icon here means it's disabled. When we click on it, we get those EQ parameters, right? Now, just because we've muted the EQs, look, doesn't mean the sound doesn't get through, it just means the EQ processing is not happening. For example, if we bump this right up, big sound difference, done, yeah? So it's just the EQ path. And then we've got this chain here and it goes through the chain in order, left to right as we see it. And the little arrow here, we can add any of these effects in, which we've got an absolutely insane suite of effects to put in, which gives us basically limitless possibilities within the plugin itself. It's not as if these are separate plugins that I've bought and added in. You have this with this. It's part of the contact system, so it's all built in there. But like we've got Freak, for example, which is its own independent plugin, along with Faces and a lot of the others. So they're all built in, allowing you that sound design, even if you don't own the individual elements, which is a great thing to see. It's good that they're going in this direction with that. That hasn't always been the case. It's just been like the default contact elements that were in there. You can reorder these in any way you want. So if you grab this here, I can shuffle that and change the order. Obviously we can mute anything out and take it out of the chain. One thing I'd like to feed back, if it's relevant at all, we see this is highlighted in red and we know it's switched off. If it's selected, like make it highlight in red rather than an ever so slightly different grey when it's highlighted in white. It's like the most minor difference. Make it red, we know it's actually switched off. That would be a good indication as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, a whole lot of things we can do with effects. We don't need to dive into all the individual effects. They're there, they're fantastic. There are chains for them as well. If we click over here, we can save effects units or load effects unit like presets, of which next over we've got the sequencer, which we can see here, this is currently disabled. We enable it, oh look, we've got nothing. We need to jump over to pitch velocity and give ourselves some velocity. And we've got latch, we can just press one key and it will go on forever, turn latch off. Now it's just when we're pressing the key. Turn the rate, now we've got a really high BPM, so something like 1/8 is going to be kind of cool. And if we want to have pitch variations, these can usually be quite a pain to kind of dial in. However, we've got this right here. So I've been playing in F minor. We could go F and we could bump it up to minor. And now when we hold those notes and we can make movements like so, they're going to be within right here. And as with all step sequences, we can do beautiful things like swing. Also, if you've built something that you really like, you can lock it down here with global. So you switch other sounds, it's going to retain itself like that. We can change the layer routing as well. So it just goes to B, off, goes to A, or A and B. Giving it some flexibility for layer routing off. And then 16 steps, or the amount it's going to do, 2 steps if you wanted to. And then our gate amount. Build in whatever kind of sound designer we really want to use. Which we certainly like. Then we've got macro links, what you want to link down to these big things up here, and then in sequencer we can link those macros and control them over steps as well, right? As we so desire, so things like cut off, fader, drive, etc. Alright, so let's have a flick through some of the sounds that come with this. We've only played with that first initial bass right now, which we like, right? So if we just tap through, we're staying in basses here. Okay. There's a single note, right? This is a prime example for the sequence. Almost a Reese, somewhat similar to the sound I went and built actually. Yeah, we'll just load that up for a sec. So I did deep Reese unders here. Nice, right? I just made that so it like screams up with the higher notes, and then we can bring it down. So you can do like a classic call and response. We could go like. Fun to play with, really expressive, which is what we're liking. We heard the pad right at the start. I don't think we need to keep going over that. There are some pads in here. There's not a huge amount of basses and pads, I will say. The ability to build them out yourself is pretty good. Airless room. What if we do some chords like... It's a pretty devastating sound. That's very techno, to be fair. thing shines the most really is in its sequences, which it's got a lot more compared to the pads and basses. I don't know if it's a bug, but can you see that like freaking out when I'm trying to move between there? This is a beta release, so before it's come out, it's a little bit freaky. Ah, no, that's it. Pitch wheel that up. Alright, let's try out some of the synths, which again, a whole load more of those. Shuffle it. I feel like that's going to work as a bass. Ooh. Again, as the package says, very techno oriented, but atmosphere-wise, you can have some fun with that for sure. What happens if we shuffle the sounds up on this guy? Alright, immediate bass. Alright, and that there's just a quick look at this. Like I said, I've only spent a few minutes with it, but managed to design some bass sounds for a completely different genre to what it's intended for. I think it's really quite exciting. It's nice to see the evolution of the play libraries coming. Gives a really good variety of sounds. If you make techno, it's probably like mwah for you. I don't, but I can still find a lot of versatility out of it, and that is what I love about these kind of instruments and shapeability and the development. It's basically having a really good sound set that you can shuffle up, always matches, and all the effects and everything in one place to do it.